Rob Edwards here. We're at a pretty historic place in Cheektowaga, New York. Some of the folks may not be familiar with it, but all the local bands definitely are. We are here today at Keith Gregor's Music Mall to kind of talk about what's going on here. Give us some history of the place a little bit, Rick.
Cheektowaga Music Mall actually started out years and years ago as a church nursing home, going back to the 1800s. And it operated, as a nursing home for years. Keith Gregor bought it in the late 70s. And this became a place for everybody and anybody if you're a musician.
Definitely. I had a room here. Everybody had a room here. Tell us about some of the bands here.
Talus had a room here.
Talus had a room. Goo Goo Dolls had a room.
Every Time I Die had a room here. The rock theatrical band Perugia had a room here. It was packed. Danny Harefield had a music store inside of here.
And we're sitting in what used to be the recording studio area here that everybody kind of wanted to get to at some point, but it was very coveted spot.
This is on the third floor, and a lot of people have never been up to the third floor.
Right, so we're special here today. Rick's doing us a favor, folks. We're special here broadcasting from this today, recording this interview. This is great. So such a historic place, so much stuff going on here. Tell us about the transition and what happened after the 80s.
Well, Keith sold it in the late 80s, early 90s, and him and his wife ran a banquet facility. In fact, it was called Gregor's Hall in West Seneca. And other people bought it, and they were renting it as a music mall all that time, which I didn't even know.
I didn't know that either.
It was still being rented. And then in springtime of this year, I saw an article in the paper. The Cheektowaga Historical Society purchased the old Keith Gregor's Music Hall as the new museum for the town of Cheektowaga.
So this is going to be an historical site, a museum.
Oh, it's going to be amazing. It's going to be turned into a museum eventually. But right now, the town is operating it as it was. Rick?
Yep.
Say what's going on now.
The deal is, we took this over. We've always been looking at this building for years, wanting it. And finally, actually it was people we know, the Penfolds, own the building. And I told them, if you guys ever sell it, ever think of it, make sure you get a hold of me. We really would like.
You wanted to be on that list, right?
We wanted a shot at this. So we ended up, we had a couple meetings, and this was starting to come to fruition. And the biggest problem was money. It was a
right.
$200,000 plus deal.
Right, place needs some work.
And just for us to go, we couldn't get a mortgage anywhere. We couldn't get the money. We had about 30 grand put away in the bank. We ended up, when the deal happened, we put 20 grand down on it. We had no idea how to come up with the rest of the money. So we kind of all were out looking. I ended up finding a friend of mine, said, hey, maybe you'd be interested in this deal. I'm just going to pay some interest, whatever. Would you get a mortgage for us? Well, something I never expected out of him. Yeah, I'll do it. But before that, we had a lady that offered some money to help us, that she wanted to get paid back on. He goes, when I first asked him, he said no. I said, what do you mean? He goes, I don't want to be second. I'll do the whole deal.
No, he's all in or not in at all.
Yeah, he said, I don't want to be behind anybody. So he fronted the deal for us, and now we're to the point where the building is old,
right,
and it's tired. It needs a new roof. We're out looking anywhere we can. If somebody wants to donate anything, if somebody wants to put us in their will, it would be awesome.
I'll tell you, there's so many memories here of this place. I had a small band that used to practice here in the day. Everybody did, and it still brings back those memories of all that Buffalo music history.
Oh yeah.
That you know everything about.
When I started the Buffalo Music Awards in 1981, I'd come here to talk to all the bands that were nominated, because almost everybody was rehearsing here. And what makes it really strange is Keith and I went to high school together at JFK.
And people still want to get in here.
Oh,
I didn't know this. They were still renting spaces in here. When we heard that story, that you were changing over to the Historical Society, I'm like, okay, it's going to totally change. There's not even going to be a space for me.
We kind of want to keep it this way. I mean, the Historical Association, we want to come up here and have an area for ourselves. We don't need the whole building. We'd be honored to have these musicians here. This is awesome to have them here. It's part of our Cheektowaga history. Actually, I was the historian for 7 years in Cheektowaga. And I stepped down, and Maureen Gleason took over. And it's like, you can't lose buildings like this. This is what we're here for. I mean, history you want to retain as much as you can in the communities. It's history is the people of the community telling us what they've done, showing us the pictures, and this is what we're looking for. And something like this, we just don't want to lose.
So what might happen is initially, like the bottom first floor might become the museum. And there'll be a room for the police, a room for the fire department. We're going to have 2 rooms for music and stuff like that.
So it'll be a Cheektowaga history / music museum.
There's a guy that has a Civil War museum, and he's going to be moving his stuff into here. And so bands could still be here on the 2nd and 3rd floors. You know, maybe years and years from now, the entire 20,000 feet might be, you know, the town museum, which would be amazing.
Right.
This would be the largest local museum other than the History Museum in Buffalo, probably. Right?
I mean, we take 1 floor, it's going to be one of the largest museums.
Yeah, and you're going to have a dedicated space for music and people that were here and stuff like that. Do you have any of that? We got some of the old stuff that used to be around here in the studio. Do you have anything from any of those folks back in the day? You looking for stuff from them maybe to put in here?
Anything, any pictures, any history. If anybody knows anything about this building, we'd be honored to have it. You know, it's just
so now we have the
cool
music.
joint.
We have the music tie-in. When I heard about this, I said the music community is going to care about this because it's saving part of music history. Why don't I try to get a bunch of musicians together to raise money?
Definitely.
So Mike said to me, "We need $30,000 for a roof," and I said, "Let's have a benefit." And he says, "What do you mean a benefit?" So I called everybody from Buffalo. We got an amazing lineup. The concert's going to be the Bills Bye Week on Sunday, November 24th. Nerds Gone Wild, we're going to play with their vacation, so Route 66 is going to be here. Okay, Hit and Run couldn't play because they're on vacation, but Mark Valentino is going to come and sit in and do some songs. We got people that were in the original Rasputin and Big Willie and the Hubcaps.
Right, I just saw them a couple weeks ago, yeah.
They got a band that's going to be playing. Analog Kids, okay, the Rush tribute.
Tremendous Rush tribute band.
Alley Cats.
Yep.
Rabbit Foot. Rabbit Foot is a theatrical rock band with Dave Elder, who used to be in Party Squad. Everybody remembers Party Squad from back in the day. And then we also have, who's those groups?
Crazy Frog.
Okay, pardon?
Crazy Frog, I think it's.
Oh, Crunchy Frog.
Crunchy Frog.
Now,
Yeah, they were
Crunchy
here
Frog
back
approached the town because they used to rehearse here.
He made a DVD in '96.
Right. They
Here.
recorded their album in this room. They were the #1 band on WBNY's original music shows, like in 1990.
You know, we need an original music show here again. Someone's got to get off their duff and start that going again. They're doing it in other cities. They're doing it in Rochester. Just saying, we need something like
It'd be
that.
a perfect place.
Right? That would be a perfect place
Start right in this room.
to broadcast from. So do you want other bands that are in the area that have history here, that maybe have old stuff from when they used to play here? Do you want to hear from them? Do you want them to maybe send you stuff?
We'd love to hear from them. Yeah.
Because I'm sure there's still people that, you know, if you're from Buffalo, you're probably not moving, or you come back when there's no snow or whatever, maybe you're a snowbird. But I bet there's a lot of folks out there that have stuff that they used to have here at Music File. So why don't you stop by and send it these guys? I'll put some of that information in the comments, and you can bring that in.
And where they can bring the stuff, I see Mike's over there. The History Museum now is in a little building across the street, right next to Cheektowaga Town Hall. And they're open every Monday.
Every Monday and the first Sunday of the month.
And they can come there and, you know, do donations. They can also buy tickets there. We're going to have tickets available in other places. We're printing 1,000 tickets in advance. We hope to sell all of them.
So when's the date of the show again?
Sunday, November 24th from 5 o'clock until 10 o'clock at the stage.
So Sunday, November 24th at the stage. Come out and help us raise money for the benefit here for Music Mall. Legendary music spot here. Their benefit to get this place up and going again. Guys, so great to speak with you. And so great to hear about this project. I'm so psyched about Buffalo history and Buffalo music. Rick can tell you about that. And this is the man that knows all about it for definitely sure. You got the right partner.
That's why we got him here.
Definitely. Thank you, folks. We hope to see you at the show.